And now we journey again to Garrish Summit and its unfolding story of intrigue among the socially prominent. There in stately splendor, far removed from the squalid village below, they fight their petty battles over power and money. As our action begins, spineless young Rodney Murchfield is at his desk, making plans to regain Pamela's affections from his brother Caldwell. Suddenly, he's interrupted by the entrance of Wallace Yodenfuhrer, the chief engineer of the Murchfield Lead Mining Company. Rodney glances up and speaks.
Come in and sit down, Yodenfuhrer. I was just planning how I might regain Pamela's affections from my despised brother Caldwell.
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you with that, Mr. Murchfield. I'm a mining engineer. I didn't even take a course in personal relations at A&M.
Well, that's all right. I have other people on my payroll who can take care of Pamela. It's been your assignment to figure out why we've had so many customer complaints recently at Murchfield Lead.
Well, I've had the quality control department working on that problem day and night, Mr. M. They brought me some wonderful news.
Well, I don't see anything wonderful about delivering lead ingots that our customers can't melt down into satisfactory toy soldiers. Even the fishing sinkers made from our product don't sink right anymore.
Well, that's what I had the guys in quality control check out.
Oh?
And their study led to the wonderful news. It seems our recent lead shipments were unsatisfactory because they weren't lead. What we've been mining lately is pure silver.
Are you saying that our underground division moved from lead into a vein of silver without knowing it?
That's what happened, all right. It's so dark down there that everything looks pretty much like lead. But, do you realize how much more a ton of silver is worth?
No, I've always feared that reading the commodity prices in the paper might make me an uninteresting person. But I gather from your attitude that silver may be of more value than lead.
You'd better believe it. This is really the discovery of a lifetime.
Well, in that case, take an extra hour for lunch with full pay, Yodenfuhrer. I want to phone my broker before this news leaks out and buy every available share of Murchfield stock. In the meantime, I suggest we keep this our little secret.
Rodney's financial dealings look terribly fishy, Bowden. Someone's bound to wonder why he suddenly sold his yacht and his Shetland pony to buy 300,000 shares of Murchfield Lead.
Well, of course, his yacht is really a converted aircraft carrier, Agatha, so speaking as your attorney, I don't think there'll be any question about how he raised the cash.
Well, that's not really the point. The company's profits are down, but Rodney's buying all the stock he can. So he must have guessed what we already knew, that they've struck silver in the South Tunnel.
I suspect you're right, Agatha, and it was pure chance that Chief Engineer Yodenfuhrer called me with the news. For some reason, he'd gotten an extra hour for lunch, and he was calling up some old friends.
Well, see that the man is fired for goofing off to make personal calls, and then buy as much Murchfield stock for my own account as you can get your hands on.
Very well, Agatha, but I'm not sure that's a good idea. It's against the law for corporate officials to buy company stock when they have inside information like this. I just hope the authorities never find out what you're doing.
So, how do I give you my evidence, Federal Prosecutor Lurtle? Just speak into this microphone?
That's right. You already said that your name is Caldwell Murchfield and that you're related to those you're tattling on.
Well, I don't think of it as tattling. It's just being a good citizen. What would you do if you learned that your mother and brother were both illegally using secret information to clean up on the stock market?
Well, I don't know, but I probably wouldn't send them to jail. Of course, I wouldn't have anything to gain if I did, but all you need to do is to get your relatives in the slammer, and you'll become president of a $5 billion company. Congratulations, Fink.
Will Caldwell succeed in taking over Murchfield Lead by putting Rodney and Agatha behind bars? Can Chief Engineer Yodenfuhrer succeed in finding a new job with nothing but a letter of reference from a convict? And what about Rodney's secretary, who may have overheard everything? Perhaps we'll learn more next time when we hear the judge say,
I'm dismissing the case. This stuff turned out to be lead after all.
That's next week when we resume our endless story of intrigue on Garrish Summit.